Hey there guys, so today we're going to be unpacking a standard. In this video we are going to identify the knowledge and the skills that students must demonstrate to meet certain standards. So the students for this class, they're from China, they are grade 10 students, and they're going to be following the AP curriculum. And later on, either in grade 11 or grade 12, they'll more than likely take the English language and composition exam. So in grade 10, what we do to get them prepared for that initially is use pre-AP standards. And so today we're going to be focusing on close reading. So what is the big idea for this close reading task? Well, we're looking at big idea number one, engaging with texts. So when students arrive at high school, they have often become accustomed to using a host of survival strategies for reading. However, not all of those strategies may be preparing that student to read complex texts independently. When confronted with a challenging text, many readers may tend to skip unfamiliar words and phrases and more syntactically complex sentences and instead focus on what they can more easily glean. Many students may also successfully mask their confusion and rely on a teacher's or peer's summary of a reading passage as a substitute for analyzing the text itself. The big idea encourages a shift from teaching around complex texts to equipping students to engage directly with a wide variety of literary and nonfiction texts. So what is the enduring understanding we expect students to achieve? Well, these are the long-term transferable takeaways that students should develop after exploring the concept and skills related to a given big idea. These understandings are expressed as generalizations that specify what a student will come to understand about the big ideas in this course. So here we're looking at 1.1. Close and critical reading of a complex literary and nonfiction text will lead to a deeper understanding of the explicit and implicit meanings of the works. What is the learning objective? Well, these learning objectives convey what a student needs to be able to do in order to develop the enduring understandings. The learning objectives serve as the targets for development of classroom-based tasks and assessments. So we're looking at LO 1.1c. Use a repertoire of active reading strategies appropriate to the text and task. What is the essential knowledge? So the essential knowledge statements are linked to specific learning objectives and correspond to the enduring understandings. These statements describe the essential concepts and content that students need to know in order to demonstrate mastery of each learning objective. So we're looking at EK 1.1C1. Active reading strategies, for example, annotating, outlining, summarizing, questioning, rereading, can facilitate reading complex texts independently and proficiently. All right, so let's have a look at the activity now. This activity works both for the physical and online classroom. Over the course of 2 or 3 40-minute lessons, depending on the progress of the students will go through 9 steps. That will enable them to read a text more closely. Students are encouraged to attempt each step first individually and then check their answers with their partners or groups before then opening it up to the class and discussing the step. This process will be repeated for each step and will allow for formative assessment throughout the process. All right, and so here's a breakdown of the task. So step 1, the students are given the excerpt of the text and they're expected to read it individually, kind of slowly, get to grips with it, familiarize themselves with it. Then step 2, they start circling any vocabulary that they're unfamiliar with and then look up the definition. And then we go through that together. Step 3, they start underlining any language that attracts them for whatever reason, okay, and kind of give reasons as to why they find it interesting. And we can go through that as well as a class. Step 4, they highlight verbs, nouns, adjectives, and adverbs, okay, in different colors, and then we'll go through that. Step 5, they make predictions about what they think might happen next in the text and give reasons as to why, and then we can go through that and have a discussion. Step 6, they offer their opinions and their reflections about the story, the narrators, and the characters, and then we go through that as well. Step 7, they start to make connections with their own experience based on books that they've read before or films that they've watched. We'll go through that, and then questions 8, they can start asking questions as well. We want them to write open-ended questions. And then we can go through that. And then the final step is they list the key themes that they think are in the novel based on the passage that they've read here. And those are the 9 steps. So as well as the formative assessment that will be performed throughout the task, we'll also have post-task assessment. Students are instructed to perform a close reading of a text using the 9 steps we've covered. To accommodate students with varying literacy skills, excerpts of text of differing levels of complexity will be provided. Gifted students have the option of choosing their own text. Struggling students can complete the task in pairs. Upon completion of the task, students will be partnered up to offer each other peer assessments of their assignments before finally handing in their work for a summative assessment. That's it. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.